And we are live.
Awesome. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Black Phillip Alvarez and Steve Show. Tonight we are discussing Loki Episode 3. Joining us tonight, ScottyR37. I say it every day, and for some reason I stumble over it right now. Sorry about that. Scott, how are you?
I'm well, Stefan. How are you?
Thank you. That was great. And also joining us tonight, Cinema Gulp. Hey, buddy. How you doing?
R37 is a serious tongue twister, so it's okay.
R37. Thank you.
Yeah. We'll just call him Scotty.
That's, and once we get past the introductions, that's what I hope for.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, everybody calls me Phil afterwards.
You mean so every time we refer to you, we don't have to say ScottyR37?
No. We don't have to stand on formality, my friend. Just Scott now. Heck, you can call me Sylvie if you wish.
Sylvie. Oh, don't get too ahead. Don't get too ahead of yourself, Scotty.
Sly fox, you.
I am a variant.
Yes.
So why don't we let Scotty start off? Because I'm sure he's the one that's going to talk about the more positive stuff.
Oh heavens! This could be a contentious episode. I understand that.
This could be a spicy episode.
Well, first thing first, hi, Ben. Nice shirt, man.
Yep.
Thank you, sir.
Can you hear it?
Yeah, these guys are awesome.
I'm gonna have to shell out some geld and get me some of that.
I know.
I got this at a kiosk at the Laguna Hills Mall. They were selling them cheap.
Oh, you didn't have to go to their concert? That's cool.
Yeah. It came with a vinyl record.
Nice.
I'm gonna have to take a trip to the Eden Prairie Mall and get myself for them. Yeah. Sorry. Now that I'm done filleting Ben.
Right.
You're done already?
Yeah.
I'm not done.
Right? That was quick.
No. We'll come back. We'll swing around.
You...
We'll swing around. We can double back
satisfied.
on that.
We'll reach around.
Start it off, Scotty. Go ahead.
Honestly, I thought it was a filler episode for a while. When it began, and then they had quite a conversational denouement into what I was hoping for to be a pitter patter. Let's get at her with the bombing of the timeline, and as it went. It seemed to slow things down to a snail's pace until we got to the end of the episode, which looked like a very clever television one-shot adventure when you got to see the destruction of the planet and Loki and Sylvie being thrown around the apocalypse that they had found themselves in. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was action-packed, and I liked the character development between Sylvie and Loki. I have been proven wrong. I was sort of on the fence as to whether or not it was going to be a Loki or if it was another deceit. But yeah, no, Sylvie is a Loki, whatever that means.
Maybe.
And that was a conversation that we got to have during the episode. So I enjoyed it. However, I do feel like it is that episode that is the beginning of the end of the rest of the show. We took a pause. The first episodes were what they were in terms of setting up the world. This was a nice sort of my dinner with Maury, my dinner with Sylvie.
Ooh,
Hopefully we from what I understand, we're going to be going full tilt boogie through the rest of the show. So I did like this sort of breather. So. I thought it was a great breather. But all in all, performances were great. Nothing too distracting. Yeah, not my favorite episode in the show so far, but definitely it's worth it. I liked this issue of Loki.
Interesting.
I'll
go next.
Next. Yeah.
I hated the episode. In fact, I think out of all the episodes, done. Yeah.
Kidding.
Out of all the episodes of all three series, I think this is the worst one. And not only is it Is it that bad? For a show whose season is exactly 6 episodes, to have a filler is a crime. You should not have a filler in a show that's 6 episodes. They should all be tight and narratively driving the story forward. If you were telling your friend, if your friend came to you tomorrow and said, I'm watching Loki, but I wasn't able to see episode 3. Do I need to see it or can I skip to episode 4? I'd say, yeah, there's exactly one new thing you learn in episode 3, that the TVA are variants. Other than that, there's absolutely nothing that we learn that we didn't already know.
Thing to learn, though.
It is a pretty good thing. And that's why I give
the only
it
good
to
thing.
them. And it's a lot of us thought that, and that was a kind of a internet theory going around. I think I've mentioned it on last week's episode that might be the case. So that turned out to be true, which is good. We still didn't. It was murky whether this is Enchantress, whether it's a variant of Loki, Sylvie I'm talking about, or another theory is that it's actually Frigga. It's actually his mother in an alternate timeline, which would be very interesting. But I don't think they're smart enough to go there. It doesn't seem like the writing is that up to par for that. I was really let down by this episode. Obviously, you can tell.
Yeah,
I do. I thought the performances were good. Tom Hiddleston's always brings it. The actress, sorry, I don't know her name. Who plays the Lady Loki or Sylvie? I thought she did a wonderful job. It just didn't serve any narrative purpose, any of it, for me. And I'm like, if this would have been a 20 episode season of television, okay, this is
even 10.
Then maybe even 10 or 12. Okay, then I'll take a filler episode. But when we have 6 episodes and you're not driving the narrative forward, to me, it was very disappointing.
Can I go?
Go ahead, Ben. You can go. Go ahead, Ben.
I don't think we
Gulp.
know. I don't think we know if it's driving the narrative forward yet. I think we need to see what the plant and payoff of this episode is with the next 3 episodes. There's probably lots of things in this one that do drive the narrative forward. We just don't know yet. I see what you're saying, though, Steve, because out of the 3, I love them all probably equally. So I'll be the one that's like, I'm just still like blowing this show. But I do recognize everything that you're saying as far as like, and okay, this show, we all know it was like filmed, or at least I believe, during the pandemic, and they used that stuff that they used for the Mandalorian, where it was all done inside. It's all done in this episode really showed that none of this stuff is there's no exterior shots in Loki. 3 episodes in, and not one single camera has gone outside of a studio, and it's very evident in this episode.
Can I interrupt you just for a second, Ben?
Sure.
I just want to add that I did think this is one of the most beautiful episodes I've seen. I thought it was really well shot, and I love the colors that they used for the planet. So I did think it was a beautiful looking show. I just didn't like what was inside of the show. So I'm sorry. Go ahead. No,
dude. Interrupt anytime. It's your show, man. You can cut people off anytime you want. But aside, okay, so that was just my little rebuttal from that point. But I think what's keeping me on board with the show is the acting and the characters. And we all kind of suspected last week that Owen Wilson might not be in this one, or he might be in a little bit of it, and he wasn't. And the banter between those 2 characters wasn't there. We had a very different kind of banter this time. But I still think it works, and I still think it works because Tom Hiddleston is so great. Like that scene where they go to that rundown shack and that lady blows Sylvie with her gun, and she goes, sorry you had to do that. And she goes, no, I enjoyed it. And Loki goes, I did too. Like, I love that banter on this show. It's very like throwaway, quick little moments, but it's so naturally given, and it's comedic, and it's very Marvel humor. I think it's great. And like the stuff in the train, we'll get into more of the stuff that they talk about in there, but like, I don't know, I really liked it. And I was kind of doubting this team. I'm calling them Sloki, because
Yeah.
whatever.
Sylvie, Loki,
Try to
it goes
combine the
together.
names.
Loki,
Yeah,
Loki.
it sort of works.
It works.
Yeah. But yeah, they were almost just as fun. I mean, Owen Wilson's got such a quirkiness that he's just born for this show, but she was really good. So yeah, I'm still. This was definitely the most action heavy one, but it was kind of like not intense action. It was just kind of like action, you know. So clearly, that's not what they're focusing on in this show.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm still there. I loved it.
So one other thing that I did like about, I crapped on it pretty hard, but the other thing I really enjoyed was the cold open where we were in the TVA agent's mind.
Yeah.
I thought that was a very unique
girl?
way to start.
Who is that girl?
I don't know, but she's really pretty, and
she's right there.
Yeah,
she's right there. I've seen her and stuff. Whatever.
But yeah, I thought that cold open was pretty genius. I liked that was a great way to open the episode.
Well, and I thought that was a fantastic callback to something that was almost like a throwaway with that Tay agent being like, it was real. It was real. In that last episode, I didn't know what she was going to. Right. And so at the beginning of this episode, when it was like, oh, no, she's been sort of trapped in a loop and Sylvie has been trying to get information from her, but she has believed everything that Lady Loki has done. And so I thought that was like, it was an added level of the terror that we hadn't seen yet of what Sylvie could do. And when in the last episode, she was like, it was real. It was real. It was real. And she was convincing herself of it that she hadn't done anything wrong. I was like, that's kind of cool, but I don't know you did, lady. And now with this episode, with that cold open, it was like, oh yeah, no, you've been tortured for a while. And by having to relive, and there was an information extraction. You've been Loki boarded.
Right.
Well, and that's another thing.
That's
another thing, Steve. Like talking about like pushing the narrative forward, that scene and finding out how her powers work. You know, that's very, very, very. To me, that's an important thing. Like when she talks about how like she kind of takes over the driver's seat, but the person's in the passenger seat. Like, I mean, at least for weak-minded people, that was really fascinating. And Loki was clearly like, what the fuck, you know?
Yeah, that actually leads me to believe that she's more than likely, because of her name too, obviously, that the Enchantress's name in the books is Sylvie. That she's more
Yeah, so it is in the comics.
Enchantress. More than.
Well, this is a spoiler review.
More than, and he even said, "Are you enchanting?" Right. So I mean, they're dropping little hints about that's the possibility of her being Enchantress or a version of Enchantress.
I don't know shit about Enchantress except for that I know she's like in the Young Avengers at one point, but she's kind of like. Not young, she's not old, but she's not like, you know, Peter Parker young. You know, she's like, you know, she's like 50 or so. No, she's probably like 30.
I guess let's get Philip's before we go on.
Yes.
Let's get Philip's overall idea of the.
Here we go. I'm curious. I'm curious.
We'll get in.
All I gotta say is that I've never missed Owen Wilson more in my entire life. When I watch this episode, I'm like, man, come on, man, where is he? Wait, where is he? No, I like the first 10 minutes. The first 10 minutes was pretty solid, and I liked that it was action heavy because people were bitching about how the first couple of episodes were action heavy. Like, well, you finally get your action.
Not an action show.
Little bit of action. I mean, a little, you know. Yeah, it's not like action, but you know. But then, you know, once they got to the Lamentis part of it, it just became, you know, boring to me. And I'm 100% in agreement with Steve on his assessment. You know.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah,
I thought I was going to be the lone gun here today.
Against the bottom.
Yeah, and I didn't like the way that how Sylvie she was. Like the last episode, they made like she was like a badass and stuff like that, and like she was gonna be a lot of problems. And then this episode, I think it already weakened the character. That's just my opinion.
Fucking guys up in this episode.
But then when they were talking in that little restaurant bar area, I mean, It was just too much talking. It wasn't the same
It was a
answer.
train, Phil. They were on a train.
I get it.
No, no. I just didn't buy into it. I was like, oh my god, all right. The runtime scared me. So I was like, oh, this is gonna be a filler episode. I can tell.
Yeah, I noticed that too. What was it, like 41 minutes? It was a short one,
42
right?
minutes
I
and
think 42
36
minutes,
before the credits. And I was like, all right.
It's a bummer. And you know what? It felt the tone of this and even the writing felt out of place from the first 2 episodes. So I don't know if that's on purpose, and it might be that was done, on purpose and for some kind of effect that we'll see, when this thing wraps up. So what do we think about the idea that everything that happened from the moment that Sylvie wakes up when she's sleeping at the table, everything that happens from there to the end of the episode is in her mind that Loki is actually enchanting her.
Yeah, I've heard that theory too.
I definitely don't
before
think
we move on,
the time thing is what's the thing called? The little device?
Time pad.
Time pad.
I don't believe that's really broken. I think he definitely pulled some Loki tricks on her with that bullshit.
Are you saying Loki?
Yeah.
I didn't hear any theories about.
Right. Mischievous
Remember
guy.
when either he enchanted her or
He doesn't have to.
or it's
Because right before that, he keeps probing and trying to figure out. He's trying to figure it out, right? You can tell by the questions he's asking her. He's trying to figure out what she does, what her powers, and how she does it. And she kind of tells him a little bit. Because of the way it ends, and they're obviously stranded. So what I hope is, I kind of hope that's what's happening. And not, oh, by the way, I Loki stole a time stone from the TVA, and now we can just turn to back time or use some infinity nonsense to get out of it. I hope that's not the case.
Well,
because right now they're stuck on that planet.
That was one of the most interesting things, at least in terms of the world building and the rules of the TVA and what happens with Loki when she ends up in the TVA and she tries to use her magic and it doesn't work. It's the first time she'd been in the TVA, and it was like, oh shit, fresh tactics. So it was something that she was surprised by, and it was nice to see a character within the show be surprised by the rules that you and I have already been privy to.
That made no sense to me. For somebody who's been so badass taking out these TVA agents, you're telling me she's never been there before?
But it reminds me,
she knows all this other. I don't know. That's kind of weird.
She clearly knows what the melt sticks do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yes, but seeing what the melt sticks do, heck, I forgot that the melt sticks did melt stick things. I thought that the melt sticks were just sort of those slow down time things that were shown, and so she was using them as what they were. And when she starts using them as the melt sticks, it was like, oh fuck, she's brutal.
Speaking of melt sticks, when they get to the end, the neon light city. Oh, what a golden opportunity to just have Jeff Goldblum walking through going, I don't know where are we supposed to be? Just doing a Goldblum.
Grandmaster.
Oh, my God. I mean,
he is supposed to be coming back. So
that would have been cool, man.
He needs Loki's the show he should be on. Fuck, right? Like, he should be on Loki. Even if it's just for a walkthrough cameo.
Yeah, it would have been way cool. That would be fun.
Yeah, I agree. Like I said, the first 10 minutes were good. The last 5 minutes were good, but in the middle,
I would have changed my whole entire opinion about the episode if Jeff Goldblum would have popped up in it.
I know.
Come on,
man. 4 people in this episode.
Well, okay, so I don't know. Are you guys Doctor Who fans?
I've seen 1 episode of Doctor Who in my lifetime.
I'm who?
Sorry, that was cheap. Who? That was cheap.
I believe it's whom. No, but
that's a cheap pop, like "Hello, Cleveland."
But okay, but this episode, it did remind me, and I thought while I was watching it several times, I was like, This is like an episode of Doctor Who. Time travel. We have to get out of a problem, and we're going to do it with time travel. We have a device, and it's not working. And so everything that involved the plot of the episode, it reminded me strongly and pleasantly of an episode of Doctor Who. And so I really enjoyed it based on that, just with the structure and as everything was going on. And also, in a 6 episode season, I'm fine with one episode taking a breather, slowing down and having the characters get to know each other.
Well, and it's funny
this kind of episode.
Then you both can be wrong. I don't care.
Look,
to me,
I'm not wrong, because I don't mind if they wanted to sit those two characters down and do 45 minutes of them talking to each other. I don't have a problem with that. I don't need to see fighting and all that shit.
Make it like 20 minutes in a 36-minute episode.
Yeah, but make it actually narrative. Give it narrative purpose. Let it push the story forward. And Ben, I do agree that I don't know the future, so I don't know how they're going to. Those setups might pay off in future episodes, but it does nothing for the episode as a whole.
Well, here's the thing. Sometimes filler episodes, they do have a purpose overall, and this one, marooning Loki with a new character away from the two. Because before this episode, this show was a procedural. The first one was like a recruitment. The second one was a procedural. This one maroons him to learn new things. And that's why I'm like, narratively, it does push things, because now he knows that. Last week, we're all sitting here. I'm like, who the hell are these TVA guys? Are they flesh and blood? Now at least from her, we don't know if even what she's saying is true yet.
I believe
that's a good point. That's a good point.
But that was a plant from last week of Owen Wilson talking about jet skis and not understanding why he keeps leaving a ring on the table. And we got that payoff in this episode. It seems like a small thing, but it's really not, because Loki's entire perspective has changed in this episode from when he was. I mean, I don't know if his goal has changed. He probably still wants to like shoot the timekeepers. I don't know that, or not shoot them or whatever. But his perspective has changed on where he was in those first 2 episodes, and also the knowledge of like his power. Like in this episode, we've seen Loki. He's normal Loki with power, because he's not with the TVA, cloud people or whatever. So I think if you like. I would never tell somebody to rewatch it to find more clues, but I think there's a lot of significant stuff in this that's going to pay off.
I tried to rewatch it. I couldn't.
I love the little Indiana Jones thing on the train and stuff, talking on the train. And it's cool that they kind of get to know each other and they want to like each other, but they know they shouldn't. I don't know. I liked that whole dynamic too.
That's where I'm kind of buying into that theory that she might be his mother, a younger, out of time version of his mom. When they're talking about the way she says,
his reaction when she asked
love is hate, love is hate, or hate is love, or whatever she says. However she says that line.
Love is an imaginary dagger.
The fact that the fact that she didn't his mom didn't want to adopt Loki, Freya. So there's that. It's lending itself some credibility. It's just the Sylvie thing kind of throws it off for me too. I'm like, that seems like it's an enchantress.
I found it interesting that when she asked about his mom, though, he didn't right off the bat tell her that she was raised by witches. He didn't say that, and maybe that was just the writers forgetting about that, or he's keeping that from her because he said, "Oh, look, she showed me how to do fireworks in the palm of my hand," but she didn't say like. She was a powerful chick who was raised by witches,
he still didn't trust her yet at that moment either. So he was like, "Well, should I say this and this about me?" And
Loki doesn't trust anybody. He never will. Don't be surprised if he's the bad
only
guy.
Himself. Only trusts himself. Maybe Thor.
There was when Sylvie asks Loki, "What was your mother like?" And Loki just sort of took a breath. Like, again, we're still dealing with 2012 Loki. He hasn't experienced the death of his mother, but he knows that it's going to happen. And when he talks about her in the past tense, that performance from Tom Hiddleston I thought was fantastic, because he's using information that he is aware of without having gone through it. And when Sylvie says, "What was your mother like?" and he just sort of pauses for a second and says, "She was a queen of Asgard," and that was his response. My heart, it swelled and broke at the same time, and it was just like, if I'm gonna write that into my wedding vows. Like, you are a queen of Asgard.
Yeah, that was a pretty good
The
scene.
way that he said that and the emotion that he carried with that statement, I thought was fantastic.
Yeah, that was a good scene. I'll give him that much. It was good.
He's really got the weight of that whole thing hanging over him in this show. Like, finding out in that first episode that he kind of is the reason for her death and stuff, or partial reason. Like, he's really got that hanging over him, and I love that because that almost automatically puts him to the Ragnarok Loki. Not really, because he doesn't have the Thor love, but like, it grounds him as if he's learned a bunch of stuff right off the bat, you know, because he's not that Loki. He's a different Loki, but
he has the intellectual awareness of what his past or future will be. And so he's still being Loki. He's not aware of it 100%, but he's running with the information that he has.
He knows his fate. He knows he's gonna die. So,
is he?
Is he? Well, who knows? You never know. You never know. This show could surprise us. Who knows?
I think it already has. And also, the actress who plays Sylvie is Sophia Di Martino.
And I knew her last name was Di Martino. I just forgot her first name.
Right.
I was so pleased.
That sounds so
with
familiar.
her. And again, to bring up Doctor Who again, she was the version of Loki played by an actress that I was pleasantly surprised by, and I completely enjoyed it. And it's the kind of thing that when I see Lady Doctor Who, I'm like, no, this is what I wanted from my Lady Doctor Who. I wanted someone that I could be like, you're pretty and you're the doctor. And this is amazing. And the performance moving forward is fantastic because I can see the character no matter the gender. I can see the character and who you're portraying, something that I don't think Jodie Whittaker has done, but I think that Sophia Di Martino has encapsulated and brought to the table really, really well.
I agree. I like her. And I love that, like, her horns, that one of them was broken the whole episode. I mean, it's just a little detail. It's never mentioned. It's just like all
Little Monsters.
Oh yeah, with Howie Mandel.
When his little horn was broken the whole movie.
Wow,
I just brought up Little Monsters. Oh my god!
I thought it was interesting to write this episode, to write Loki in this episode as a supporting character and not the lead character, which was an interesting. I guess that would be one other thing that I liked about it. I think a lot of people online don't like that fact, but I kind of liked it. I liked it that the Sylvie was more of the lead character in this episode. Yeah, I think so.
I want to say the screen time was probably identical. Like,
it's probably identical.
We needed to learn who she was, so she might have been more the focal point of scenes. But I don't think they were ever off screen together. So, but yeah, okay.
I think give you that one. I think they gave away a little too much about her. But I wanted a little bit more mysterious. But they just threw it all out at us, and that's one of my biggest criticisms about the episode.
She's Mephisto, right?
They said too much. Like, it was too much. Of course, Mephisto.
That's never going to go away. Even in the Hawkeye, there's going to be a Mephisto theory.
Mm-hmm.
Hawkeye and Mephisto.
Hawkeye did what to who?
She's...
Yeah, right?
Mephisto. And where?
Yo!
Yeah. It's late night. We can talk like that.
But I don't know, like, in the context of the show, I don't like. I'm trying to find out. I'm trying to find your footing in terms of where you didn't like it, because
you don't have to.
Well, no, but I want to understand. This isn't a conversation just about us yelling at each other, saying it's good, it's bad. I thought it was. Yeah, well, that's and that's where I want to find out why you think it sucked, because I thought the performances were good.
No, I was being facetious. I mean, I didn't think it's like it's
for lack of a better term.
Clear about what I didn't like about it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's
just
true, and it's not enough for me to stand on with firm footing. I if anything, I can understand saying that it was a bottle episode. It doesn't necessarily further the plot.
I call it a botched episode.
Maybe it contributes more to the characterization than it does to moving everything forward. And I'm absolutely happy with that. Let's stop. Let's slow down while we're blowing up a planet into another planet.
Would it be safe to suggest that maybe the reason they didn't like it as much is because this show's quality for 2 episodes was so great, and the writing was so good,
perfect.
I think what Team Top doesn't like about this episode, Scotty, is that there was no Owen Wilson, because Owen Wilson fucking rules on this show.
I didn't even realize that.
I think you have a valid point there. Team Top wants more Owen.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, he's just so good on the show. It was kind of missing, you know. And
It's funny. Too.
you're like, is he gonna show up at the end? Oh, no, okay.
Well, and I don't want
to
of making excuses for other people why they do or do not like something. It's like I said, it's subjective, and it's going to land on everybody differently. And this one just didn't land for me. Now, when I say that, and I criticize the episode, it's because I'm such a fan that I criticize things that I feel should be better. But in no way take that to mean that I'm never going to watch the fucking show again, and I'm going to I'm going to go on a Twitter campaign about how Kathleen Kennedy ruined Loki.
This was her fault.
I'm just saying.
Don't bring it.
But she did, though.
Get him started. Scotty started.
It has nothing to do with Loki, but she ruined it.
Yeah. So I'm not going there. I'm just saying, look, this episode didn't do it for me. I was really looking forward to basically what we got in the first 2 episodes, and
he still showed up in the chat.
Yeah. And it's fine, but that's fine.
Yeah,
hopefully from here on out.
I wasn't making excuses for why you didn't like it. I was just suggesting that the first 2 episodes were great in a different way, and this one was a lot different than the first 2. So that's going to either hit people or miss people or whatever,
Yeah.
I'm just so happy watching Loki on screen every time I turn the show on. It's like he's such a cool character.
I do too, and that's what I think. That's one of my frustration points was, we know a lot. We learned a lot over the past 23 movies and 2 episodes of Loki. That we didn't learn much new, and he didn't really do much new in this, other than maybe figuring out how to enchant and pull a switcheroo on her, which that might be the case. Because I still think there might be the possibility that everything that happened after she wakes up on the table with her head down on the table is in her mind, because everything goes wrong, right? And they're trapped.
Interesting. Yeah.
They're trapped on this planet, so that may all be Loki figuring out how to use her powers against her, and she didn't even realize it. Which would
we also did learn that he likes his frost giants in any way, shape, or form, and that is perfectly all right. Yeah.
Hey.
Oh, so I stand corrected. We did learn one new thing about Loki. Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
So how did you feel about
theory, though? Good.
About the distinction as to where Loki likes to get his pootie tang?
Hey, we're in a different era, so that doesn't matter. It doesn't.
That doesn't bother me.
Doesn't bother me at all.
That's what I was mentioning. Yeah, it's like
the Norse legend of Loki was. I mean, I think he gave birth to a horse, Thor's horse, in fact. So okay.
Yeah,
none of that bothers me.
I didn't even notice it until
he's an otherworldly god who's probably had sex with every type of space being known to mankind, like male. Like Rob says it all the time on his show. Like Star Trek, people are so far beyond male and female that you'd be having sex with like purple fuzzy aliens. Like so, like Loki saying that didn't even like. I didn't even go like, oh my god, did he say that? I don't. It's like, well, of course, he's a fucking god of another planet. He's having sex with all kinds of shit. You know, like,
I didn't even catch up on it until it was brought up in Dan Merle's review. So I was
Yeah,
like,
that
oh, shit, did he say that?
That bothers me. That didn't bother me at all. I don't really give a damn. I just
Yeah,
always
just-
kind of knew that he was like, that he's the god of mischief. Of course, he swings both
Yeah.
ways, right?
totally. Yeah.
Also,
Yeah,
I
so-
could be
in a thousand
mischievous in the sexual way too. Why
And I
not? Who
don't
cares?
think, and to be honest, I don't think anybody would be talking about it if the showrunner hadn't come out and said that she actually, her main focus was to make sure that that was done. So because she was agenda driven in her approach, I think that's what kind of made everybody focus in on that problem. If she wouldn't have said that, I think this would have gone well under the radar. Nobody would even have noticed or cared.
Just super jazzed to find out that Loki throats.
Yes. And so does Scott. We learned that.
No,
the other
I
day.
don't. Who told you?
Gross. I guess I'll have to Google that.
But yeah,
You got to start a
Don't-
Fang
don't-
erotica channel now.
Right.
don't Google it.
Do not Google
But
throating.
Don't even Bing it.
But yeah,
Uh,
Steve,
but I am
Steve,
very
I
excited.
actually
I'm sorry.
I hadn't read that, Steve. The theory of when she goes to sleep and wakes up, he's just fucking with her from that point.
Well,
That's
yeah.
legend if that's true. That's because you're right. Like everything falls
I like
apart,
that theory.
right?
And you notice that he's testing her too in a way because he sings that song in English and in Norwegian.
Apparently, it's very broken.
Yeah, according to Terje.
When he switches from one language to another, he pauses and looks at her. I think he's testing her in that moment to see if she's following along, if she is who she says she is.
He would never let his
Say it again. I'm sorry.
he would never
Yeah,
let
he
his
broke
guard
up.
down and get all fucked up, right? And get
That's
all
what I'm
drunk
saying.
and,
I'm like, and then so that goes weird. He gets tossed out of the train, which was weird. Everything kind of goes wrong. They can't get to their goal, and then they're stuck. To me, this all having been happening in her mind as I figured out how to enchant you to figure out what your game is or your goals are. I wouldn't put that past Loki at all.
So
That
if
sounds
this
like a Loki
is
thing.
true, you fucking love this episode.
If it's
this
true.
turns out to be,
If
See,
it
it's
turns
like,
to be true,
there's
yeah,
your plan. If this is true, you're
I'll do
planting
a full
payoff.
180 on this episode.
Yeah.
Well,
So
that's-
if that theory is true, I will eat this whole episode
Mm-hmm.
of our show.
Yeah.
I will buy
I
you a
can't
drink
wait.
and buy a hotel room.
I found it interesting. I thought, well, okay, so just based on an action and cinematographic way, what did you think of the last shot with the crumbling moon once they got to Neon City? Do you enjoy that reapproximation of a oneer of going around the city and chasing and following everyone and seeing the chaos that was happening surrounding the arc that was destined to fail?
Me? Yes. Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I
enjoyed the
cinematography of the movie. I enjoyed the set pieces. I thought the action was fine. I don't, like I said, I don't need action every 5 minutes. The action was fine. I think it gave, your general audience, Marvel watchers, I think they like that probably more than I do. I'm more in for the narrative and the story, but it gave us a little bit of both. I don't have a problem with any of that. My problem is the storytelling and or lack thereof in this episode.
Yeah, the look of the show and the aesthetic about it is still great. It's just like I was just really bummed that I was so
And
necked
I'm
out
really
by this
looking
one.
forward to the next 3 episodes because obviously,
Same here.
so if there's going to be a filler, we just saw it, and hopefully that's it. And hopefully,
God, I hope so. Either that
cooking
or-
with
And
oil
I
over the
did-
next 3.
It was a great train scene, though. A little conversation back and forth. Reminded me of Indiana Jones, Should I ever tell you to wash your ears, do your homework, go to bed? It's so great. It's like you're just learning back and forth.
Self-reliance.
Self-reliance.
You did it better. You did it better.
Oh, that's a pretty good Connery.
but yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. Although I can absolutely understand being bummed by not seeing the repercussions of, like, Sylvie did ultimately bomb the entire timeline, and I would like to
And
see.
they didn't even touch on that.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
and-
the only thing
Come on,
that's
man.
never brought up. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm guessing maybe next week will be all that. Maybe.
I'm sure, because there's really, other than Loki asking her the question in this episode, there's really no purpose for that, right? Because it's kind of this self-contained, we're on this planet episode.
Yeah, and again, that's why it reminded me of Doctor Who, because it was sort of, how do we get out of this? And it was a perfect cliffhanger from, okay, I wonder how they're going to get out of this, and I'm sure it'll all be fixed
God,
at
I
the
just
beginning
hope
of
it's
the
not
next
an
episode.
Infinity Stone that he stole from the drawer. I mean, we got to be better. I just want better writing than that. We just did 23 films where the Infinity Stones were the main focal point of the arc, and in the first episode, we basically said that those were inert now, and we're moving on from that. To now come back, two episodes later, and have that be the key to them getting off this planet. Ugh. That's not gonna sit well with me at all.
I have a theory that the last 3 episodes of this show are going to be bonkers, batshit, fast, crazy, full of story. Because a lot of shows that have maybe 8 episodes,
Better
or even
have
10,
Owen Wilson.
they wait until like maybe there's 2 episodes left in the season, and they take a detour from the story to concentrate on something. A lot of people talk about the X-Men episode of Stranger Things season.
Mm-hmm.
Then it plays catch up with you. This show, it's so short. There's only 6 episodes. So it's like 1 and 2, you have your setup stuff and a little bit of procedural in your second one. Then they deviate from the story in this one, where they could have done it in 4, and then 5 and 6 are your conclusion. But I think they needed 3 episodes to finish the show, because the story is going to get big and heady. That's my theory and my hope. Obviously, my hope. But
Yes,
I think that they already deviated from the story just as it was beginning, and gave us this, quote unquote filler episode, because these next 3 are going to be just shit for brains, insane. And because with what happened, like you guys said, the bomb she dropped, and then this episode happens, and it's like, oh, let's calm down. We're not gonna show that fallout. And then the next 3 episodes will, I think. I mean, that's just a guess, but maybe that's why this one was so different, and just, and it was character driven, whether you like characters or not, but
Sure.
Theory corner. That's it.
Well, and in terms of introducing the antagonist, I don't want to say villain of the show, but in terms of the antagonist with Sylvie, I got much more, like, I have a better sense of who she is, as opposed to Carly Morgenthau from Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Like, I am more invested in terms, I don't know what Sylvie wants, but I like her more than I liked Carly.
Yeah, she's more fleshed out than her in one episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, and maybe it's charisma, maybe it's just presence. I don't know. But they're, in terms of, and also when it comes to this episode, I think the last episode, the biggest question that I had is whether or not Sylvie was a Loki. My biggest concern was when Loki said, I wouldn't treat me like that.
Yeah.
And now in this episode, when you have Sylvie, and it's like
that.
And Sylvie has sort of she hasn't had to exposition dump or have a tantrum saying, this is why I am what I am. She's just done her thing. And it's like, okay, no, I get it. I get why you are the way you are, Sylvie. You're adorable. So, and it's fine.
I just think that she just gave well into Loki way too much. I like, just like that. I mean,
I still think they're fooling each other.
Well, and Loki is a narcissist, whether you be female or male.
So am I.
No matter what.
Yes.
Sylvie or Loki wants to talk about Sylvie or Loki. They want to achieve their end goals, and they are the rose color of their own glasses. And so having them interact with each other and flatter each other and finish each other's sentences.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed that interaction of two Lokis.
So they're all of a
What's better
sudden
than one Loki? Two Lokis.
Two Loki. So all of a sudden they're just best friends now.
Yeah, I would be best friends with me if I were a girl.
Dude, I would see a Slokey movie.
Slokey?
Slokey.
Let's
They
see a
could fight
Slokey.
Snooki.
Slokey
She
versus
does have her own
Snooki.
Funko, so it's official now. So
Yeah, I saw that.
No,
So you posted that today. It was awesome.
yeah, no, I'm getting it.
There's a Snooki
Well, I'm waiting.
Funko?
That sounded wrong. I should have said that.
I'm waiting for the hot toy.
There's a funky Snooki?
Funky Snooky.
Probably.
The next wedding I DJ, I'm going to ask everyone
where does
to do the
everybody
funky
see
Snooki.
the remaining episodes going? That's what I want to know. For the ones that are familiar with this comic. Where do y'all think
I'm not
the
familiar
show's going to
with
go after this one?
Yeah,
Yeah,
not
but where do you
familiar
see the show? Where do y'all see the show going after this episode? I mean, I have no idea.
Well, I just said bonkers crazy. That's all I know. Whatever it is, it's going to be 3 episodes of crazy.
I hope so. That's what I hope so. I just want Owen Wilson
I hope
back.
you're right,
That's all.
too. I hope we're done with it with this style of episode. Going forward, it should be, let's finish this. Let's finish this out strong. Figure out these next 3 episodes. Kind of what? Obviously, it's going to be the repercussion of what happened in episode 2.
The time bombs,
because those time bombs are all over the timeline. So that we're going to have to fix that. Going to have to clean that up, or not. I mean, I guess that could also lead into Doctor Strange and have Doctor Strange. The multiverse of madness. That could be the catalyst for that multiverse of madness. I just don't know.
Well, are you guys in the mood to discuss who you happen to think the timekeepers are? Are we gonna get a little Kang the Conqueror? What's going on? Like the timekeepers are not the benevolent force that we've thought.
That's what I say. What do you think is going to happen? I mean, hey, go for it, Cole.
Yeah, I don't. I still think like that. After the very first episode, everybody thought Kang was one of the timekeepers. I think that's still a possibility, but I'm thinking less and less that they're going to lean that way. And if they do, I don't think we're going to get much of that. Maybe a reference here or there at the very end of the season.
Oh, well, and I don't know if I'm entirely on board with seeing who the timekeepers are. If they want to save that for a future season, if there are future seasons, that would be cool. But this TVA, it's not all it's cracked up to be. It's not what we're expecting, I don't think.
Well, what's interesting about the timekeepers, and this isn't from the comics. I don't know the timekeepers from a hole in the wall, but like from what we've seen of the show, where do they exist in time? Like they could be, because it's not like, Loki grabbed the Tesseract in 2012, and then when he goes to the TVA headquarters, it's 2012. It's like it's not time, right? It's like
they always say time.
So
they always say time works different there anyway. So
the timekeepers, if the timekeepers aren't just a sham, which I'm thinking. The MCU could definitely have it be where it's a sham and there aren't really timekeepers. There's just some schlub who's manipulating the situation because they've been known to do that before, But no, it's so it could be anybody because
we don't know
time frame is it really big?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. We could be dealing with the Wizard of Oz. Man behind the curtain thing because Richard E. Grant has still not made his presence.
Right. No,
this is the time to bring
that up
Ben
the other
Kingsley
night.
back. We need Ben Kingsley back as Trevor Slotry, and he's the. They have him up there. They're like act like a timekeeper.
So I'm assuming
I'm an actor.
I'm assuming either Richard E. Grant is going to be the big bad that maybe is uses the facade of this the 3 timekeepers as a way to basically rule the universe or make sure the outcomes that he wants in these timelines in the sacred timeline happen, or he'll just be one of the timekeepers. But we still have. He hasn't. We haven't seen him on the show yet. 3 episodes left.
Our friend Tony says he's playing a pretty important bad character. So who knows?
I just hope that they're not CGI lizard things. Oh God, don't do it! Don't do it.
I have snuck ahead, and I've seen some spoilers from some Lego sets, but there is a possibility of getting a Throg.
Oh,
too many spoilers! Too many spoilers.
Now, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Throg. I wasn't when I looked it up, but apparently Throg is a
Just
frog
the one that shows
with
up in
the
the chat
powers
once in a while.
Thor. So I'm looking forward to that. And so if Richard E. Grant happens to be the voice of Throg, bring it on.
that's interesting.
It was either call him Frog or Fro.
Right.
Exactly.
Not 2 ways together.
Frau.
House Frau.
Froer.
So there are surprises still to come.
Oh God, I'm sure this show is going to be very bottom heavy. I think it's going to be a lot of stuff.
Like Fat Bottom Girls, they make the rock and world go round.
Well, when you think about any Marvel are not idiots, and 3 episodes of mostly exposition. These next 3 are like balls out.
They're still kind of sort of dropped the ball on this one, at least as far as.
But
Your
that's
opinion,
just a little
if it may, like
they're allowed. They'll give them one pass.
Yeah, like Gulp said, look, if they're planting seeds to pay off in these next 3 episodes, then awesome. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
But just taking the episode standalone on its face, it just did not land for me, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
They don't all have to, I'm not
But I
going to give
want
up.
to like
of course
it,
not.
Steve.
Yeah.
So
My favorite shows in the world have stinker episodes that'll stink up a fucking room. So
all of our favorite shows have stinker episodes.
They're just
it's unavoidable. It's unavoidable.
They're a little easier to take if we know we're getting 12 or 15 or 22 episodes, right? It's a little easier to take, right?
You're right, dude. You're right. You're right. Yeah.
Not in the 6-episode season. Nuh-uh.
Anyways, so before we get, are we kind of done with that? Before we get to the chat,
Yeah, I'm sick and
Yeah,
tired.
well, do we
talking
wanna
about
give-
Loki.
do we want
Do
to
we
do
wanna
a kind
give-
of a rating?
Yeah, we can do the scores, then I'll go through the chats. We got a bunch of them. Like we got a lot of feedback tonight.
Yeah,
a
cool.
lot.
It's
Our
awesome.
most ever. We
Sure.
peaked at 8. So,
I'll go first. I'm gonna give it a 7.
7 what out of 10?
Yeah.
Why did you hate it? Damn it.
7 beers, 7 gulps, 7.
Yes.
Oh,
Okay,
I'm
all of the
going.
things.
I'm going 7.5 gulps.
Oh yeah, so you guys liked it. I'm going to go 6 wands.
Okay.
6 magic wands. I was going to do 5, but you guys convinced me of some cool stuff that I did
Yay.
like in the show.
Yeah,
Thank you,
boy. There we
Bumped
go.
it up just a little.
The bottom
Dude,
group.
5th bump,
gave it
Scotty. 5th bump.
7.5.
5th bump.
Gave it 7.5, and a partner
Nope,
gave
this
it.
way.
What did you give it? 6.5.
You're going to go 6.5, Phil?
Now I'm thinking I'm gonna go. Oh God. 5.5.
5.5. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
we're still,
I'm right there with you.
Only for the action. The action scene gave it. that
Technically,
0.5.
none of those are negative.
No.
They're like mid-range to good.
Yeah,
That shows you the
It
quality of
doesn't-
the show. Even if you don't like it, it's still pretty good.
absolutely.
You guys,
That's
you
what I
you
meant
weren't.
by,
I mean, I didn't like
You were
hate
just-
it. I mean, I don't ever like to use the word hate. So
Neverending Story 2 is the only movie I can say hate to.
mm-hmm.
Oh, Battlefield Earth. Hate.
Never seen it.
Highlander 2.
Never seen it. Highlander 2, I didn't hate.
Oh my God, it's one of the worst films of all time. Catwoman.
I don't
hate.
know. This is going to be we have to do a whole other show about things that we absolutely hate.
What movies merit the word hate?
Yeah, that's a
That's still a
very.
future show.
Because I don't like that word either.
Yeah.
I don't like to use it either, but hey, you're allowed.
Yeah.
We'll
Well,
find.
should
We'll,
we-
we'll do it later.
Let's
Let's
all the
find out what.
chats.
Yeah, let's find out
People
what the
had to
community
say.
is saying.
Be the reader, because I got to show them. Somebody's got to read them.
All right.
Who wants to
Michael
be the
says-
reader?
Todd Michael says, I can't even believe I'm still awake. You're keeping me up past my bedtime. Well, good. Every once in a while, you got to stay up past your bedtime.
At least he showed up.
Thanks for being
thank you,
here.
Todd Michael. Means a lot to me.
Yeah.
It's
Subscribe
Friday.
to my
Stay up.
channel if he hasn't already.
Mhm.
The next one is from Todd
Any
Michael as
relation
well.
Chad Michael Murray. Sorry.
Todd Michael says, Scotty is a wham bam think you gulp man. Smiley face.
Yeah, I think that was
I'm a fan of Gulp.
because it looks like you're.
Ben knows I like Ben. It's fine. Now I'm sharing them with the rest of you.
Sometimes you like to chug Ben. It's fine.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. Come on.
I don't chug Ben. I gulp Ben. There's a very
Speaking
subtle
of
difference.
chugging.
He was
his
asked
chug
to be
show?
on the Chug Show, but he declined, sir. So
Chug, chug, gulp. Chug, chug,
Chug, go.
Okay.
Maybe the next one will go on.
Oh yeah.
Moving on.
Speaking of the Chug Show, you've got a Chug Show. Is it up already?
Tomorrow
The
morning.
Chug for the outstanding.
Tomorrow
Go and check that out.
I'm looking forward to it. I wish
Yeah,
I
me
would have been
too.
able to go on, but I mean, I had plans. So.
there'll be plenty more, guys.
Who wants to take this next one from also Todd Michael?
I'll
Todd
go.
Michael says, "Oh my God, Steve! Oh my God, Steve! You and I are 100% agreement. You guys are both have black hearts, so you and I are in 100% agreement. I thought it was the single worst episode of all 3 series so far as well. It was total filler.
Filler.
Good company, sir.
Worse than the final episode of WandaVision.
I actually like
the
that
last
episode.
episode.
Yeah, I like the 5th one. And the next one, it's a little quick one from our.
Says, hi guys.
Yes, he was in this. Yes, thank you for coming on the chat. I'll see you tonight on Midnight Middle.
Yay!
The next one is also from Todd Michael. He did a lot. Thank you for all your chats. Once you take it.
Go ahead, Scott.
Well, it is for. So at Gulpy, I didn't know you guys were in a pet name sort of situation, but at Gulpy,
I know.
I hope there's
know.
something unexpected in this episode that I have that will have a payoff.
Yeah.
In terms of the new episode, yeah, too.
I usually want to know someone for
Right.
more than 5 minutes before they start calling me Gulpy.
Gulpy. All right. Next one is just Todd Michael saying hi to Earl. Okay, yeah. Tim Possible showed up too. Hello there.
Hello there. Hey, Tim.
He's coming on.
TP.
I invited him to come on the show next week when we start. We move him to Wednesdays, by the way.
Oh, and I guess
Next week.
we should talk about how we're moving the reactions to Wednesdays
Yes, we are moving them to Wednesdays from now on till the end of the season.
Be a little fresher in all of our minds, having watched it either at midnight on Tuesday or Wednesday morning, and then or Wednesday sometime during the day. But
Yeah.
we noticed that everybody else was dropping their spoiler discussions at Wednesday in the afternoon. So, it just seemed like Friday. By the time Friday rolled around, it was
We're gonna already be
Out of the
bored or
news, yeah.
wanting to.
it was already done. So we'll move it up. Maybe it'll be a better time slot for us.
Yeah, it might be a 6-panel show next one, so we'll see.
That'd be fun.
Hopefully, Twin Flicks can come on too, and then with Tim Possible, it'll be a 6-man panel.
Cool.
All right. This next one is from Todd Michael, throwing us some knowledge with this one. Let's take it.
I'll take it.
There are 2 Marvel Enchantresses. The original Asgardian one, and then the one created by Loki and Young Avengers, who is Sylvie.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
Again,
gotta love Todd Michael with his insight. So thank you for
I
that,
gotta
Todd
pull-
Michael.
That's awesome.
I got to pull up my Marvel Encyclopedia and figure more out about all
You should
of
have
this
that
stuff.
right next to you from now on. Scott.
I know.
Come on.
I'm sorry. I know.
This next one's from Tim Possible. He's dropping some knowledge too. A little bit, not too much.
The power scaling on the show is funky, but the last 5 minutes in the city is visually stunning. I agree with that.
I agree with that.
Mhm.
Yeah, visually stunning. The show was gorgeous to look at.
Yeah, the power scaling is a little weird, and I don't know. I don't think they don't cross their, they don't they set up the rules of their universe, and they don't completely go over the line all the time. But yeah, I agree. The power scaling is a bit funky in the show. And you can kind of say that about all the Marvel characters in the movies too. The power scaling is kind of weird.
Mm-hmm. Yes, next one.
Well, and when Loki grabs the building with his brain and uprights it again, and I was like, I didn't know Loki could do that. So
that's kind of cool.
It was cool, but I was just like, that's a new power. I hadn't seen that before.
Yeah, that's why I was curious if it was telekinetic. Yeah, that's why I don't think it's real. I think it's all in her brain or their brains. Tim says, TEMPAD, TEMPAD.
That's the one you drop knowledge on.
Temporal pad. That makes more sense.
Yeah,
is what the device is called. Thanks, Tim.
Thank you, Tim.
Next one is also from Tim Possible. It says, onions have layers.
Yes, they
onions have layers. That'll do, donkey. That'll do.
But in as a retort, if I may offer a retort, onions have layers, and they're fine to take your time unpeeling those layers in a 22-episode series.
Yeah, but not in a 6-episode season. No. Yeah, and I don't think Steve's going to shy away from that. And I agree with that criticism too. I mean, you can't do filler.
And I don't. I think you're wrong.
Well, this is my show, and I stand by it. Damn it!
I have the microphone, and you will listen to every damn word I have to say.
My name is on the channel. Damn it!
Fair enough.
There is no right or wrong. There is no right or wrong. It's how it lands for you.
It's joking, Scotty. But
I know, buddy.
Go ahead and Tim Possible again. Who wants to take it?
Loki does a lot of self-sabotage through his journey post 2012.
He
froze right when he was doing it.
That was such and even in this show, yes, he does a lot of self-sabotage.
Even in this show, yeah. Good Connor.
Am I back?
Yeah, you're back. You're back. But that was a shame.
Yeah, fuck. But if what you guys say, if the theory is true that like he's pulling a sham, then he hasn't been because everything that happened after, like you said, Steve, after she fell asleep and then woke up, he was kind of fucking up. And I was kind of like, this is weird. This isn't like Loki to like lose control of the situation unless it's, but because they didn't reveal that he was doing that at the end of this one, I was a little shocked, but.
But that final shot where he's standing there and he's looking at the destruction of the Ark and the moon is coming down into the planet, and he's sort of standing there agog of the situation presented in front of him, and Sylvie just sort of walks away. I am curious because when I rewatched it, I was like, is she defeated, or is she knows that there's no point in sticking around anymore?
I wanted to say that I still think there's more to her, but I mean. Yeah, I hope so.
Oh my God, she is so. You know what? I find Sylvie to be just smoking hot.
Really?
I do too. Not as much with the horns on, which normally I like him with horns, but with
the horns of her online without the costume.
It covers up. Yeah, when she has the horns off at the beginning of the episode, I was like, dude, she knows what's up.
Yeah, at the start of the episode, she looked pretty cute.
Yeah, I would like her to give me brain freeze.
This next one,
I'd like to give her a whole bunch of margaritas.
Willingly says, "Hey guys, sorry I couldn't make it tonight. Next time for sure." Like, not a problem.
No problem.
I know you're on drugs, so some good drugs. So
welcome
on Wednesday.
Dental surgery.
Welcome on Wednesday. Dental surgery. So save some for us next time.
Some bikers.
And yes, our good friend Captain Hipster Spock showed up.
Ahoy, Captain! Captain says, I'm at the zoo, but what is the topic today? Well, it's a Loki show, Captain.
By the way, I do actually respond to people in the chat, so this is what I said. So,
and it's like why asking him what the top of his show is when we know it's whether or not Deckard is a replicant or not.
Right. And then he's like,
Yeah.
So yes, I do actually respond to the chats that come up.
Always a pleasure. Thank you, Captain. Ah, good. I've still not watched it, so I can just listen with a smiley emoji. I appreciate the smiley emoji.
And
And
I
if you get
responded.
it, go ahead.
Go ahead, Scotty.
I was just going to say, if you get a chance, go and check out Captain Hipster's Cockney Spock. Captain Hipster Spock would be the accurate nomenclature. Go check out his show. He has
His
things
show's
going
awesome.
on most every day. If you like banter and rapid fire conversation, that's what you're going to get over there. Oh my stars! The man is a workhorse.
He amazes me, like how he can just keep going and still make sense. Like I really enjoy his show, and
the man doesn't sleep. That's why.
he's really intelligent, clearly, and so is Scotty. So when they go on together, and his mates, who I love, I'm forgetting their names. I love his mates.
PD Rich and Problem B.
Yeah, dude, those guys are legit, man. We've gotten into some semi debates before it's very refreshing to have debates with nice, intelligent people as yourselves.
It's a fun channel. He's a fun channel to go on. I mean, I've been on many times too. So, and he likes to come on mine too. So, if he has the time, he's more than welcome.
I need to get
come
back
on my channel. Yeah, so this is my response. There are spoilers, and he said, "I love spoilers, but appreciate the heads up." Yep. Man, this is just saying good night, gents. See you some later.
Oh, is going to be on the Midnighter tonight? Isn't tonight her metal night?
She is, I believe, officially now the co-host on the first Saturday morning edition, I guess you could call it.
Yeah. Or Friday night edition.
Friday night, Saturday morning version.
Yeah, want to call it. I like tuned into.
Uh-oh.
Kind of contest or something that people had. Like, it's like, oh, you have a show and you have a show. I'm like, what the fuck, man? How did this happen?
Yeah, you get a show.
You get a show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is that it? Or are we going to figure out?
We got a couple more.
I'm still trying to figure out which way to go for the
Lindsay. Oh yeah,
a couple of zingers from Captain Hipster's box. Yeah. This is the last one, actually.
Lindsay Ellis.
Where's my Lindsay Ellis hot toy? I want a Lindsay Ellis hot toy. I want a classic.
Am I brain freezing? Who's Lindsay Ellis?
Lindsay Ellis is formerly known as the Nostalgia Chick from the Nostalgia Critic channel. She does a whole bunch of video essays. She does a great job in terms of her critical analysis, in terms of modern topical subjects. Captain Spock and myself are fans of Lindsay Ellis, despite the playful jibes.
Yeah, he goes back and forth with her all the time, so it's pretty funny.
Huh.
And this is actually the last one because the last two were just me and Spock. So yeah, this is the last one.
Okay, my dudes.
Elephant enclosure. Ugh.
Yeah, he was at the zoo. He's at the zoo probably with his son. So, and that's all the chats. So
outstanding. Thank you so much to the chats.
Yeah, it was great.
Got a lot tonight. I think the most I've ever had. Peaked at 7, so thanks for those who showed up. That's the way it works,
man. You got that consistency going. You got your episodes. They're weekly. People wait for it. Mm-hmm. That's what it's all about, my friend.
I'm moving it to Wednesday. We'll see how that one goes. So
yes, new time, but same entertainment.
Same.
Yeah, I don't actually know if I'll have been able to watch Loki by Wednesdays, but I'll just pretend like I have. It'll be fine, and then I'll watch it afterwards.
Yeah, I don't think you're too sensitive to spoilers, right?
Just say timeline a lot. Yeah. Just say timeline.
It's Loki, Owen Wilson, time variance. Yeah.
Timey-wimey.
This episode was awesome.
Timey-wimey. Just pretend you're Captain Spock the whole episode. Any final thoughts?
Talk about Deckard being a replicant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But he's not. He's a human. Anyway, I'm spilling. I'm
Yeah.
sailing
still,
on.
I'm still 100% on board with this show. I love it. I think it's my favorite Marvel show, just because it's treating the character exactly the way I wanted it to treat the character. So I like all three shows, but this one's tickling it for me. Little tickle.
Yeah,
I
guess they did.
I have to second that. I still think, even though I didn't like this particular episode, this is still this. I think this is going to be, in the end, the strongest of the three for me. WandaVision is right up there, though, for me. I really like that show. Falcon and the Winter Snowman is a little bit more down the list.
I love Winter Soldier. I think it needed 2 more episodes. I really don't think 6 was enough to tell that story. I just don't.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use the baseball. Go ahead, Scott.
I'm a fan of Loki. I'm looking forward to the next episode. And when it comes to this being a filler episode, again, I just want to see the whole graphic novel once it is bound and on my shelf. And so you can have an issue, take a breather. I think that this was a lovely breather, and it was good to get to know the characters a little bit more and more intimately. And so I'm looking forward to the last 3.
Yeah,
dude, I got a feeling these are going to be great.
Yeah, me too.
I might not have cared for this episode, but I'm still not ready to give up on it. So, you were batting 1,000. Now you're at 750. So, hey, you're still up there on my guy, and still up there in my eyes. So I'm not ready to give up.
No.
I would never give up.
Far from there.
Usually it takes 3 episodes to decide.
It was like, yeah. It's like I'm still on your side, Loki.
All right, so should we pack it in for next week? Should we Tesseract ourselves out of here, or what?
I think so.
I gotta get going because I am finishing our Gulp, our chug show. Hopefully, I can get it done.
Plug it. Go ahead.
Plug it.
I just got to make sure not to get too drunk tonight. No, we're doing a Fast and Furious 1 through 8. It's our version of a recap of a series. I know other channels do it, but we do it drinking, where you have to drink a giant. Well, this year is a little bit different. Some people because it was on Zoom, we let people drink what they wanted. So there's people drinking fucking White Claw, for God's sake.
Oh my God! Hey, those seltzers kick your ass, man. I mean, I'm not even gonna lie.
but yeah, so we have like a certain amount of time to describe each one of the movies in our own personal way while someone chugs a giant beer, and we get through 8 because we don't want to go to 9. I did see 9 last night though.
Oh wow, nice.
That's what I'll do. I'll go.
So 9. I'll probably see it tomorrow.
Space, right?
It's,
they go to space.
It's fucking fun.
There's a car
stupid
that goes to space, right?
Dude, but you won't laugh as hard when you see that. Then it's great. It's great. That's all I'll say.
It's like an unintentional
every bad
comedy.
thing Rob said about it is every great thing about it. That's what I'll say.
And
anyway,
unintentional comedy. That's a good way to put it.
I think at this point it is intentional, though. I think it's self-aware enough. Vin Diesel's the only one who's not invited to his own party. He's the only one that still thinks it's serious. Everyone else is jumping through hoops, making sure that he thinks it's serious, but they all know it's a joke.
Still, it's family, but family. Yeah, sure, dude. You're
anyway, thanks for letting me bring it up. And I
dude, for sure.
Everybody check
sure
it out, and obviously all you guys are always invited whenever we do a chug show, because it's better with more people and it's fun.
I'll do the next one for sure, depending on the day.
I look forward to it.
I'm down.
Yeah.
So the YouTube next dudes want to plug your channel too before we go?
Come and see the Phantasmagorium show. That's daily at 1 p.m. Pacific time, where Scotty and I run Monday through Friday. We run down the entertainment news of the day and things that tickle our fancy. Today was our first Friday free for all. We had our first guest, official guest.
I was on there.
Black Phillip Alvarez, Todd Michael, and Terje came on to help us out, and
it was a fun show.
We ran about 2 hours, so that we'll keep doing that as long as people
Are you guys
want to
just
come
Monday
and hang out.
Fridays?
Are you guys just Monday through Friday?
Yes.
Yes.
It's gonna be hard for me to get on there. Well, I mean, if you would have me, because it's like working hours, I know. But I gotta say, I check it out a little bit when I'm working at work, and the graphics and stuff look great.
Yeah,
like
the graphics
very
are all
clean,
great,
very clean
man.
looking show.
Oh,
Yeah.
mine's all boring, but yours is cool as hell.
Thank you.
No, that's all.
We try.
That's all
We
Steve.
try hard.
Yeah. So yeah, and
I'm
also
working on the graphics, though. Don't worry. I'm working on the graphics. Don't worry.
you're
But yeah,
in good
come check
company
out
to
the
get
show
those
when you can.
graphics. Yeah, and Ben, you're always welcome. And also, if you would like to not necessarily admire the graphics, we're on podcast now. You can hear the audio version of our shows as well.
Yeah, audio only version is you can find that on the website. Also, there are a couple of trailers that we want to do that aren't safe for the show. They show nudity.
Oh,
or
right,
very
yeah.
graphic. If you want to join us,
Which ones are these?
like
You got his attention.
Titan. Titan is the next one that we want to do. So if you want to come and join us for one of those, we'd love to have you for sure. Something we can record and play at a later date.
Yeah, they do these little surprise trailer reactions. I was on last night too, so that was fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
It was great. All right, gentlemen.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Salute.
And don't forget, next Wednesday, we're moving the show to next Wednesday, spoiler discussion. So don't forget.
Same bat time, just different bat day.
Just different bat day. So
You got to work on that.
No.
No, right? Come on. Don't forget to like.
We're
subscribe,
workshopping.
comment.
Yeah, this is right.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, everything, all that good stuff.
Do all the things.
And we shall see you next Wednesday.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Ciao.